If you want to learn how to create a build with this many minions and some shotgunning skeletons, stay tuned to figure out how. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome back to Path of Exile for another build guide. This one is going to be covering my Army of the Damned Witch Necromancer. Now, with that being said, you've already seen the full power of this build in the first clip, but I'm going to explain to you how to do that with a little bit of skill tree shenanigans, a little bit of itemization, and just having a decent amount of fun all around with being able to create a weird setup of shotgun skeletons with a few jewels and skill tree trickery. Now that being said, let's cover these skill gems very quickly. We're going to do this in a little bit of an order. You'll be able to see a gameplay video overlaid on screen, hopefully right now, and there'll be one coming out tomorrow to showcase the build in its entirety, as well as I will be streaming this build over the next couple of days because we are in a flashback league, and as a result I want to see if I can hit 95 to get more of the rewards and that sort of thing. If I can't, then I can't, it's whatever, but I will be trying my best to get up there and just see how it goes. Now, because of that, I don't have a 5-link or 6-link chest piece, and that's why it's empty. I'm trying to jeweler this as I go to try and get as geared as possible and see how I can do with this build. Now, that being said, let's cover our summon skeletons, our main skill. Now, whenever you cast it, you wind up getting 6 at one time because of a few trickeries in the skill tree. This allows us to go up to our 12 cap in virtually 2 clicks, which is quite nice. Because we have Spell Echo, which will make it cast a second time at very fast cast speed. And going into our skill tree, if I hit the correct button, in our Necromancy here, we have Bone Sculptor, which makes it so that you summon 2 additional skeleton warriors with Summon Skeleton, which means we'll summon up 3 in every click. Now keep in mind that since we have Spell Echo, it casts the spell twice as I hit my desk accidentally, and as a result we're able to get 6 skeletons. Now, because of our spell gems, stay with me, I know we're going kind of fast, because of our gems Dead Reckoning, with the exact perfect setup of this jewel tree, we can get the bonuses for them, which allow us to get, while 40 int is in radius, summon skeletons can summon up to 5 skeleton mages. Now we have 3 of these, which are right here, right up here, and then right down here, which makes it so that we can have 15 skeletal mages. This also makes it so that every skeleton we summon with summon skeletons negates this summon skeleton warrior thing and becomes a skeletal mage instead. So we're summoning 3 skeleton mages and starting to do some. Did I crash? Did the server break? I think the server broke. I don't know. I don't need the castings anymore, so it's whatever. This works out as well. Oh god, Path of Exile, man. As it catches up. That is interesting. Very interesting. Alright, anyways. That is the shenanigans for summon. I did get kicked out. Damn, struggle. Hold up. Hold up, we'll go back in. The struggle, man. The struggle. Alright, well, we'll just kind of kick back in. That's Path of Exile for you. But anyways, that is Summon Skeleton, our main ability. That is linked to Spell Echo. That is linked to minion damage support for, of course, more just flat damage. And that is also linked to greater multiple projectiles. Now, while we go through to our hideout yet again, if I were to link that in my chest piece, which will be the end goal to have a 5 or a 6 link, the next link I would go for would be Pierce. It's an exponential damage increase that you can't even math out on paper for how good it is, but every single shot goes through everyone, which is just kind of crazy and insane for mobbing and map clearing. I would also maybe link it to another lesser multiple projectiles. It may not math out to be enough, so I may go for something different instead. Even an Arcane Surge might work out pretty funnily enough, because you'll get more cast speed and damage, but I don't know the exact math on that, so that's a little bit whatever. Now, Summon Skeleton's trick for you, because you're able to, when you summon them, they don't follow you. You can cast them in separate spots. So you can kill 2 packs at once by having one over here and having one over here. This will kill this way, this will kill this way. Now, we're using Vaal Summon Skeletons as well, which allows us to get some pretty hilarious skeleton amounts. You can summon up to 41 just by pressing Vaal Summon Skeletons. Now, of course, Vaal skills have changed with the Incursion patch, which makes it so that you can get a Vaal skill and a normal skill all linked up into one. So as a result, we have this gigantic level 18 Vaal summon skeletons. Now with that being said, we're going to use this together with Vaal haste, which is going to synergize quite well because it's 50 souls here, 50 souls here. So by the time you have a Vaal summon skeletons, you can drop a Vaal haste to boost all of them up to give them massive amounts of attack speed and cast speed. It gets pretty hilarious, pretty fast, and you can do some amazing work with it on bosses. We're going to cover our helmet just because we're here. Might as well. I have a molten shell with cast on damage taken, just because it's a setup and I don't really have anything else to do with that. I don't have it leveled up yet, which is kind of weird. It doesn't earn any XP. I don't really know why, but that's whatever. I have increased duration support, which links to that, but it also links to Vaal haste, which is quite nice, making Vaal haste last a little bit longer and start doing incredible work. Now our main bulwark of defense is going to be Raise Zombie. Now you see I have Desecrate down here so I can make corpses to create zombies, but I won't need to switch it out once I get my chest piece fully set up. So let's pop a Desecrate down here real quick, and then summon up our zombies. Now we can only have 4 of them because of the way the skill tree is set up, as well as because of our weapon, which I will cover in just a second. Let me switch my gems back. Now you can see how big these zombies are, and why we only have 4 of them is because of our weapon, which is Monteagle's Grasp. I probably butchered that, but oh well. This makes it so that we have massive increases to our zombies, such as 5,000 zombie life, which is incredible, increased resistances, increased size, but most importantly is enemies killed by zombies explode, and they deal a metric shit ton more damage. Now the reason this is so useful is coming over to zombies on the boots, is we have Raise Zombie linked with Summon Phantasm. I don't know if this is really worth it, but I like having more pets on screen, so it's pretty hilarious. Might be better for more damage somewhere else, but I like this just for more pets. Might as well, right? We have it linked to minion damage support, and the big killer is Culling Strike. So this means that anything that my minions here whack will instantaneously die while below 10% health. Now link that up with zombies explode, or enemies killed by zombies explode, and you can just kind of delete an entire screen pretty quickly. You can see that with my Sunder Juggernaut that I made as well, where you just kind of attack the pack once and then just explode the entire screen. It's pretty great. Now that's the use of the weapon, as well as why I primarily use Raise Zombie. It's also a nice wall that will follow you around and just kind of kill things for you passively. It's quite nice, and they do a ton of damage. Excess little links. I have a cast while damage taken IK with increased duration support in my shield, and in my weapon I just have Flame Dash, Lightning Golem, and Anger. My 2 auras are Anger and Haste. Thanks to the skill tree, I'm able to run 2 50% auras while not being fully drained. Up here I have reduced mana reserved. I have 10%, 14% up there. I think there's some more down here that I remembered to grab. I don't entirely remember, but I think I have another set of aura reductions somewhere, but I don't entirely remember. Now, coming into the skill tree, might as well. Actually, we're going to do gear next. I forgot that I need to do the rest of the gear. We're not going to go to the skill tree just yet. My bad. It's pretty self-explanatory. Max life, res. Go for a bone helmet for increased minion damage %, which is exceptional. Necklace, I have a Seed Breath, probably butchered that. Minion damage, minion health. I don't know if it's more worth it than a defensive rare necklace. I'm not sure. You'll have to see that for yourself, or in a few days when I try and get this build a little bit higher and see what ends up working out a little bit better. This is what I'm rolling with right now. Works quite well. Rings are stat sticks for life resists. The boots are Alberon's Warpath for +1 number of skeletons and movement speed. I don't know if this is worth it over just having like a stat stick pair of boots or a different pair of boots, but it's been working so far, and that's pretty alright. The belt is a stat stick as well. Remember that going for strength on belts will actually give you more max life. So leather belt with max life, strength is pretty much god roll, alongside the 2 resistances that I have, which are also pretty much god roll. Now sadly it came with the elemental attack damage, so I can't get anything else, which kind of blows, but I mean, it's whatever. Imagine having extra energy shield crafted onto this, that would just be insane. But that is going to be the basics of the gear. I have Lionized Remorse for a shield. I don't know if it's the best shield or if using an offhand would be better. Not entirely sure yet, but this has been working as a nice stat stick. Literally, if I take my shield off, I lose like 400 health, which is pretty significant on this type of build because of all the scaling for max health and that sort of thing. So, extra health, always nice. Physical damage reduction, etc., etc. Now, flasks. I like to have cautious and staunching divine flasks. I have 2 of them, which I cannot live without these. These things will save you from dying in mapping so fast. Because Corrupted Blood was the very first thing that killed me in maps because I didn't realize what it did or how to remove it. And that's what the cautious divine life flask of staunching is for. It will remove the bleeding, which removes Corrupted Blood, as well as by the time you realize you have Corrupted Blood on you, you're probably down at least half health. And this will instantly heal you back up if you're at a point where it was like, oh no, I'm nearly dead from Corrupted Blood. This will fix that problem pretty much instantly. I have 2 Quicksilvers because I like being fast, and a Basalt Flask just for defensive capability. I'm not sure if I should use the the unique Vaal one. That one might work out pretty decently as well. I haven't experimented with that just yet, but I probably should. And that is going to be the gear. The gloves are just a stat stick as well. Res, max life, pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of the gear. Let us cover the skill tree and the Ascendancy. Let's do the Ascendancy first. We're going to go down into Invoker, minion damage, minions regenerate health, and minion max life. Come down to Bone Sculptor. We covered this beforehand. Skeleton's hits can't be evaded, skeleton movement speed, flat skeleton damage, which actually just is insane. This scales exponentially and just does some pretty hilarious damage. Max number of skeletons, and this is what lets you summon all of the skeletons as we talked about early on. And we come over to Puppet Master, which is increased minion damage if you used a minion skill recently. So recently refers to the past 4 seconds. When you summon up new skeletons, you're actually starting to do some pretty hilarious damage with them. As well as minions get increased attack and cast speed if they kill something recently, which you synergize this with Unholy Might, and you start to get some pretty crazy damage. Minion duration, minion movement speed is all good. Now I think for the 4th point, I'm going to put in minion damage and life here, and go for Fleshbinder, which will give me 1 extra zombie. Excuse me while I move really quickly. As well as giving double the radius on the zombie slam. But that's kind of it, really. So it's not really as useful as the extra zombie. Might prove to be more useful. It's either that or I come down for Spectres. I think I might go Spectres here as well. This is the only other real contender. Which, because we have summoned Phantasm on kill, right? We, actually, wait. I don't think Spectres and Phantasms are 2 different things, aren't they? Probably are. So that's probably irrelevant. So yeah, in that case, just go Fleshbinder, as I realized mid-video. Just go Fleshbinder for your last one. Let's just call it that, shall we? Now let's close the inventory and go through the skill tree. The main things you're going to want to pick up are going to be the 5 jewel sockets, which will be on the left, right here, and right here, as well as down right here. Now, the zombies are not only scaled exponentially from the wand, they are also scaled from our 2 violent deads that we have on the sides here. This makes it so your minions do more damage, and while the gem has 40 int in the radius, you actually are able to get the zombie slam attack to deal 30% increased damage, 60% considering we have 2 of them, and it doesn't really have much of a cooldown because it has 100% increased cooldown recovery speed. From 2 of them, they just do nothing but slam. It's pretty great. It's like Space Jam. They just come on and slam literally everywhere, and everything dies. It explodes. Culling Strike. You get the gist of it. Now, the other ones we covered was Dead Reckoning, which makes us make skeleton mages with summoned skeletons. And we have 3 of those to give us up to 15 summoned skeletal mages, which means that half of the Vaal skeletons, or even more, are going to come out as skeletons. Now the tool tips are completely wrong on this, might I add, for those of you wondering about that. This says summons 1 skeleton warrior, and do you see a singular skeleton warrior in these 12? Because I don't. So the tool tips are a little bit misleading if you just kind of looked at that and said, oh, you only get 4 skeleton mages. No, you don't. You get a lot more than that. Now covering the skill tree quickly, we want to try and get as many plus minions as possible. So Grave Intention node here, the Lord of the Dead node right here. And then coming down here, we can get more minions down at Grave Pact. We can get more minions over at Puppet Master here. And we can get more zombies and herd the flock. Now, otherwise, we want to go for max life, which we're getting the life node down here. We're getting the life here, and some life down here. Now, we're going to want to travel to the jewels over here by coming down and around. Grab the jewels. Come in here for aura reserved reduction, so you can run to 50% auras while still being able to cast. We like to run anger and haste, because I run a Vaal haste setup as we talked about beforehand. Coming down here to get a little bit more life and max life. Come in here for more life. Come up here to get more strength. You need this strength node and this strength node to be able to use my shield. So I needed those two. I don't know about the dex node. I took that early on. You might not need it anymore. Now I'm going to be grabbing this little middle node here, as well as the health node down and around right here. And then we come over here very quickly to get the other jewel socket. And that is pretty much the quick and dirty version of the skill tree. Not really that in depth, just minions, 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 max life, max life, max life. Pretty self-explanatory. Now we're going to cover the prophecies very quickly. We like to go for Brine King, because that makes it so we can't get stun chained, as well as Tukahama, which is quite nice, because what ends up happening is I summon up all my skeletons, drop my Vaal skeletons, drop my Vaal haste, and just stay in a position that's decent. That allows me to get everything buffed up with Vaal haste, and then that just stacks up the Tukahama buff, and I don't really care much about moving, so I just sit there and watch everything die. It's pretty great. Bandits, we go for a Lyra. I like the mana regeneration and the all-res. You can take passive skill points if you want to, that's all up to you, but I like going for a Lyra. The mana regen fits me just perfectly fine, as well as the all-res makes it a little easier to gear up. Now I believe I covered pretty much everything. I have a few map suggestions for you. Beach is a personal favorite of mine. Burial Chambers is a personal favorite of mine as well. But Lookout is actually going to start being pretty hilarious, because the advantage to summon skeletons is not only is it a ton of skeletons, but it's a ton of bodies. And you can start using it as a choke point creator. Because say there's enemies coming down here, like on Lookout, which is a bunch of straight lines, right? You can just block it off entirely with all of your skeletons. They're not getting through that. No melee minions are going to get through that, or no melee enemies, sorry, are going to get through that, as well as all of your zombies are going to stop that, and that sort of thing. And projectiles will just hit them and stop, because unless you're versing these sparkers, like these skeleton mages that pierce, you're not going to really have any real issues regarding projectile enemies. But that is pretty much going to be it. I don't think I missed anything. I covered all of the items, the skill gems, the flasks, as well as I covered the skill tree, the Ascendancy, and all of the prophecies and bandits. So I'm pretty sure we're good. Pretty sure we're good. If I missed anything, I will drop it in the comments below. I will be streaming this build for the next couple of days. Hope you guys tune in to enjoy that. There will also be a gameplay video coming up tomorrow. So with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Click the Discord link in the description if you'd like to contact me directly about this build, or if you found something different on one of my other builds, come and let me know in my Discord. That's going to be all from me, and as always, take care, lads. So